straight away, so I do not forget. Hey Christine, hey Amy, hey Jess, hey Emma, hey Pip, hey Carly. Oh, she's in bed. I love her.
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Love it. I would not hate on that at all. I'm sure there's some girls in bed here, especially probably Julia and maybe even Kirsten at this time. Awesome to have you girls on. I'm just going to mute everyone. Emma, Lee, hey Nick, my love, looking cold there again. Okay, cool. It's like I'm like sweating over here. I mean, I did just like do a pre-game dance, but I'm also, it's like 30 degrees over here. Not that I'm like trying to make you jealous or anything. I'm sure it's really nice over there in the winter in Australasia. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm just making sure everyone is muted. Okay. Hi, loves. So nice to be here with you girls. It's really funny having like when some of them are photos, because it's just like you can just see this picture, and it's just like some videos and some pictures. It's just really funny. Please excuse me. I literally am like, I just did a little dance, like get in the mood, but it is like 40 degrees. I'm like actually sweating. So I'm so excited to be here with you again, week 3. So this is like sort of pseudo the like halfway. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Halfway point. I mean, it's not really, but like we're getting close to it. It's obviously like our 3rd call. I did actually think about having a more of a Q&A style call for this one, because I've been getting some whispers that people are feeling a little overwhelmed, but I'm actually going to do that next week. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit more notice, and just actually what I'm going to do after this is just have a thread where you guys can suggest some topics that you want me to cover, because I always leave a couple of calls free in the bootcamp to really keep connected with what the pulses of the group, what you guys are looking for, what kind of content you want me to cover off, what's coming up for you, so I can actually specifically cater to what you guys are going through. So have a little think about that, about what it is you feel like you would like to expand on, or things that you are coming up that you feel like would be really helpful for you to kind of go over at this point. And we will make that our call for next week. I want to just cover as well, actually what I'll do is I'll share my screen with you girls firstly. I'll just run over here. It's going to mute you. Okay. Amazing. Also so in love with you girls meeting up in real life. Like, it just makes me so happy. Loving seeing those photos and that you guys are connecting. It's so super powerful to, you know, really, that is really the biggest purpose of this space together, is to give you guys the connections in the community that you have, like moving on from boot camp, to really collaborate and connect and to really have that sisterhood. So I'm loving seeing that happen. So lean on that as much as you can, which actually is amazing. So we're going to talk tonight about networking and collaboration, because it's such a powerful topic. It's such an amazing and strong way to build business, especially at the moment. It's a huge way that I've built my business. I'm a massive believer in it. And I also want to, I see it being attempted to be done poorly often. So it's something that I want to sort of touch on. And then I do want to open up at the end of the call just for some Q&A, just to make sure you guys are really feeling like you're being supported. Like if there's anything else that you have going on, I want to make sure you guys all have the opportunity to touch on that. So I don't have my angel cards here either, so it's really, I can't pull us a card unfortunately, but the message that I'm getting at the moment, that I've just been on a client call, and I was on a call with my brother earlier as well, was really one of, and I think is definitely pertinent as well to the whole group from sort of what I'm hearing, is gratitude. And what I mean by that is it can be really easy, and this is something that, you know, it really helps in getting us out of overwhelm, because I know that a lot of people have been feeling overwhelmed. You know, that's one of the biggest complaints that I hear often. I get into overwhelm very often. And something that is a really amazing way to get out of that is actually giving ourselves gratitude. Because when we're creating a business, the reality is that we are always going to have more to do than we have the time to do it. And I don't want that to make you feel really disempowered, but it is just the reality, because the thing is that you guys are already, you've already separated yourself from most by being someone who's passionate and driven and wants to create a different life for yourself and a business that supports you abundantly. And that is more than most people will do. So that could be deemed, you know, the hard road. I mean, I think that living a life on somebody else's terms is more the hard road. But the thing is that you're already showing that you're driven, you're passionate, you are committed, you are hardworking. And so that means that whenever you get here, you're instantly going to have a new here. So you're always going to have a list that is bigger than the time you have to get it done. So when we give ourselves gratitude for, you know, what we've created, for the goals that we have kicked, for even being committed to being on this call, to showing up, to investing in yourself. And I say this time and time again, but most people won't do this. Most people won't show up in this way. So you're already so much further ahead than most, and you're already elite. So really giving yourself the gratitude for what you've created, for who you are, for how you're showing up, for the group, for being in this space, and using that to fuel you. Because when we're in that constant state of overwhelm and feeling like we're not sort of ticking things off, we often are not giving ourselves the space and the gratitude to really sit with what we have already created, and creating from that space of groundedness and gratitude. So that's kind of the message that's been coming through for me today. So that's kind of the message I want to share as well with you guys, in lack of my angel cards. So however that looks for you, whether it looks like taking some time out to really, maybe it looks like writing down some things you've achieved in the last 6 months. Maybe it looks like spending some time outside and, you know, sitting in a meditation. Whatever that is, finding a time and space to really connect to that is a really quick way to deal with your overwhelm. And just having that awareness and knowing that, changing your expectation around, you know, expecting yourself to constantly get atop of your to-do list, because it's just really, it's not realistic, because it's always getting filled with other things. So also we want to build businesses from a base and a foundation that we can sustain. Oh, we just got Kirsten, the dog just came on my screen. Hi. I'm not sure what Zoom does. Sometimes it just flicks people's videos on here. So we really want to build our businesses from a base that is sustainable. So, you know, we can't just assume that when we get there, wherever there is, whether it's, you know, a 6-figure business, whether it's our first 5K, whether it is, you know, $1 million, whether it's 5 clients, whatever there is to you, we can't build from a place of waiting to take care of ourselves or waiting to set ourselves up to have a business or a schedule that supports us. So we really have to get into the habit of doing these things now, and also looking at these things, these self-care tactics, or these timeouts, or these gratitude practices, as ways of building our business, because they are integral to building our business, especially for most of us on this call who are, you know, in the health and wellness space, in the coaching space, are encouraging and supporting health and wellness. These really truly are practices that are business building practices. And so when we look at them like that, we can often be more inclined to do them because we know it's a part of building our business. So that said, I am going to share my screen with you guys and just shoot me through anything that you need at any time on the chat, anything that's resonating, any questions, anything that's not resonating. It's really helpful for me just to sort of know if my finger is on the pulse or what's going on with you girls. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I'm going to maximize that. Slideshow, paper and set. Okay, cool. So I want you guys to all, so I can't see anyone's videos. That's weird. Normally I can. Hold on. Can you guys see me? Can you just someone chat to me and just let me know if you can? We won't be able to see me, but you can see the. Normally I can see your videos, but I can't see them right now. Oh, there you are there, but okay. Just going to quickly look at this chat. Yep, I can see you. Okay. Okay, thanks, Nick. All right, okay, so I'm going to resume share, but I can't see your videos, which is weird, but that's fine. Okay, cool. So I want to just check in with, just having a check-in, like I said, we're sort of at the halfway point nearly. So just checking in and feeling around how you are moving towards your goals, whether your visions have taken any changes. Obviously I know it's only been a few weeks, but you girls have been really showing up for yourselves. I have been so impressed reading these target markets. These sort of client avatars have been so thought out and so emotive. They're just so powerful, and it just really does make, I feel like reading them, it just makes it so much easier to know how to speak to these people, because you're so intimately connected to them, and it's really amazing to see. So huge props on that. But yeah, just taking a little bit of time and checking in and seeing, do you feel like you're moving towards the goals that you've set? Do you still feel excited about moving towards the goals that you've set? Do any of them need to possibly have dates changed or anything that needs to be moved around? We really want to make sure we're keeping our finger on the pulse of our goals. We don't want to just set our goals and visions and put them in the top drawer and not look at them. So just taking a second today or over the next couple of days and checking back in, maybe sharing with your buddy as well, how you're going. Do you need to step up the accountability for the next, few weeks of boot camp? What do you need to put in place to really ensure that you throw as much as you can at this experience? I really don't want anyone coming to the end and feeling like they didn't get what they thought they were going to get from this course, because I am here for you as much as I can be, but I also need you to reach out when you need support. I need you to lean on the accountability buddy you've been given and really show up so that you can get the result. Just like life, this is representative of how that works as well. So just taking a second to check in with that over the next couple of days. Also, I kind of addressed this, but and as you know, I'm not a graphic designer. My slides are horrible always, but it's about the content, not about what it looks like. So checking in, like I said at the beginning of the call, giving yourself the gratitude, knowing that life is not linear. So it doesn't just, we don't set a goal and then we go that step, and then there, all of a sudden we're there. We get thrown a curveball. We maybe take 3 steps forward and 2 back. We might take 1 forward, 1 back. It's not, so be forgiving through this process. Know that you are always moving in the right direction, that everything is always unfolding how it should, that you're learning, that realizing this feeling of overwhelm and learning how to move through it, learning how to set yourself up so that you can handle bigger successes, creating yourself into the person who can hold the success and the business and the life that you're creating. It doesn't always look the way we want it to look. It doesn't always unfold the way we want it to unfold, but just trusting, surrendering, and knowing that you are getting what it is that you need. If you are showing up and doing the work, then everything that happens after that is as it should be. So really focusing on your mindset and being forgiving and leaning into that, and connecting with your buddy, asking for the support you need. This could be a lesson in learning how to ask for support. It could be, learning how to share vulnerably. It could be, not everything is the way we think it, we don't always get what we sign up for. It could be something that we didn't realize we needed that you might get out of this. So just leaning in, really stepping in for these next few weeks to really ensure that you get what you need out of this process. And as always, reaching out to me if you need me. I'm going to start a new question thread just to keep it fresh. And also a thread to give me some suggestions on what it is you would love me to cover on one of our calls next week. So this week, though, we are going to talk about networking and collaboration, because it is so important. So the benefits of collaboration. This feels really weird because I normally have your videos on here and I can't see you, so it feels like I'm talking to myself. So the benefits of collaboration are, actually what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop sharing the screen because it's actually weird not seeing you. Hold on a second. Oh, I can hear something. Just bear with me for a second because now I can't get out. Can somebody send me a message so that I can bring the chat up and then I can get out of here? This is very strange. Bear with me. What is going on? Cancel. Okay. Clearly doesn't want to do that, so I'm going to leave it there. Okay, so the benefits of collaboration are that we can really, really build our brand through collaboration and through associating ourselves with other brands. So this is really, this is a big part of how I built my brand and how I built my business, is always looking for people who are doing amazing things and that I can help support or that I can be a part of. Because through the association with people who are more established than you, you can enhance what you're doing and essentially also your message. And this is also why we wanted to do our target market, so that we can look at some of the people, some of the places this client of yours goes, where she goes online, what events she goes to, who she looks up to, who she follows, because these are the kinds of places that we want to start looking to collaborate with. So aligning with pre-established brands that have similar messages and similar markets to you is massive, massive, massive in growing your business and growing your message. It also is really powerful in giving your clients greater value. So, when you get really clear on who your client is, as a lot of you have and been sharing in the group super, super intimately, the kinds of things that the kinds of brands, the kinds of messages, the kinds of things that your client is interested in. And so when you collaborate and you can add more value to them, then you build so much more know, like, and trust with your client by collaborating with other people that are in a similar space to you. And so it really also strengthens your message. So, for example, my business, Conscious Boss, which is about conscious business, it's about being of service. It is about being a conscious consumer. It's about being, spiritual. It's about presence. It's about business. So when I collaborate with people, I always need to think about how can I collaborate with people that help me strengthen that message and share that message in a really powerful way, that are already doing similar things in their business. Also, something that's really important with the collaboration piece is, as much as it is definitely strategic, it also really needs to be based on, really with integrity and authenticity. So, there's so many amazing places and people we could collaborate with in life but when I'm talking about collaboration and when I'm talking about strategic collaboration and strategic partnerships, it's always from a place of making sure you genuinely really admire these people and genuinely really want to form relationships with these people, because all collaboration is building relationships. So you really need to make sure it's in alignment and feeling really authentic for you. But just so powerful. Like I could not overstate the importance of collaborating to grow business, especially at the earlier stages, because everybody has something that they can offer to you and your audience, really. So super, super powerful at this stage. So when we're thinking about collaboration, like I just sort of mentioned, we really need to think about alignment and our values. So, like some of the questions that you answered around your ideal client and around the values that she has, this is also around the values that you have, which will obviously be very similar, if not exactly the same, as your ideal client. So when we are thinking about collaborating, we absolutely have to make sure that the people we're reaching out to or collaborating with are in alignment with our values. And, me now being in like the conscious business space and having so many amazing, awesome clients who are very conscious and ethical fashion and ethical consumers, it makes it a lot harder for me to, I'm a lot more conscious these days now because of being exposed to so many amazing women that are so passionate about different areas of consciousness and conscious consumerism, that it actually means I have to be a lot more strategic about the places that I collaborate with, because now I've become a lot more aware of all of all of like fast fashion and environmentalism and all of these things now. So I have to be super, super careful about where I collaborate with, because, you know, the conscious business space is a very small space. It's growing, but it absolutely has to be in alignment with those values and the values of my client. Otherwise, it's going to be a negative collaboration for me in terms of brand building and in terms of adding value to my client. So you also need to think about when you're collaborating that, and some of the stuff, it might feel like it goes without saying, but sometimes that stuff really needs to be said as well. So you need to make sure that people that you're collaborating with or brands are trustworthy, that they are going to hold up their side of the bargain, that they are going to be enjoyable to work with, that they are going to be loyal and have high integrity. So just really, really something to be wary of, because at the end of the day, it's better to go it alone than try and do a quick collaboration with people that really don't align with you. And so making sure you do your research into people, into brands is really, really important, because again, you know, anyone you collaborate with, anyone you share anything with or you build an audience with is going to reflect on you. So you really need to be sure that you've done your research on, and this was actually an excellent example. We had Emily who shared on our last call around the pharmaceutical company and having that gut instinct that, you know, said that she, was it Emily or was it Julia? Well, it was around the pharmaceutical company and wanting to endorse, and then it was, you know, the gut instinct that said not to do it, but it was tempting because it's like quick money. So you really want to make sure you're doing your research and feeling like whether or not that's going to align for you. You also need to make sure that the people that you collaborate with are doing something similar to you, in the sense that they can add value and help you add value to your market, but also different enough that you're not in competition. So sometimes I have people ask, say it might be a nutritionist, they might ask if they should collaborate with another nutritionist, or, you know, maybe it's a coach that wants to know if they should collaborate with another coach. And you want to be really wary of that. The reason being because you want it to be complementary, but not substitutory. Not sure if that's a word, but you want it to be something that adds more value to your market. And that if someone was going to then hire you from this collaboration, because that's the aim of the game, that they don't have to decide between who they're going to hire. In saying that, I've collaborated with one of my best friends as a coach, and we've collaborated before in the sense we've done events together, and she features on my programs and I feature on hers. But, you know, she's one of my best friends now, but we also really have the same belief, the same alignment and the same values around how we run our business, around being, you know, in collaboration, not competition. And we're also very different as a coach. So it kind of wouldn't really be a question of which one we would hire, because we're just so different. So you really want to think about how you can add more value to your market without confusing your clients or your prospective clients. So you really also want to aim for people with a bigger following or a bigger community or a stronger message than you, because, and this is why it's really important to say, when I say all of this stuff, it's about, this is all coming from a place of integrity and authenticity and genuinely really caring about the people you're collaborating with and really genuinely believing in what they're doing. But if you are going to collaborate, especially at this earlier stage, it's just smart to do it with people who already have a strong message and a strong audience that you can, piggyback off essentially. So always, shoot for the stars with this one. It's, really important to remember that people are only people, and they're all looking for opportunities, and they're all looking to connect and grow their missions and businesses as well. And all you can do is reach out. So always aim for the bigger following when you're looking at collaborations. So you also want to connect when you're reaching out, because a lot of questions people will ask are, feeling confused around what you can offer when you are collaborating. So, and actually, in the end of this, in the membership site, there'll be an email that I sent to Preston and Alexi when I first connected with them to form a collaboration with them. And one of the things that I'm also going to share with you guys as well was a video that I did with Alexi on collaboration. And one of the things we talk about is about really coming from that place of like assuming the win. So coming from that place of confidence and really connecting to what it is that you have to offer and what you can share with that person, and really being confident about that. You don't have to have 10,000 followers or a big business or massive amounts of things you can do. It could be just really tuning in to what that person has going for them and how you can help them enhance that, and really coming from a place of confidence. Another thing that's really important to think about when you are collaborating, can you guys just send me a little quick message, just let me know if this is landing for you, whether this is helpful, if you have any questions, because at the moment it just feels like I'm talking to my computer screen. So that would be really helpful. Yeah, you also really want to connect with what is a win for you. I'm really nervous that you guys aren't there. Hold on. You guys are there, aren't you? Now I'm really nervous. Hold on. Zoom. Oh, you are there. Okay. I literally was like, I don't even know if they're there anymore. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing because it's super weird talking to, and I can't see the chat or anything. Okay, cool. Landing, living. Okay, cool. So important. Okay, perfect. Cool. But I'm going to just talk to you now because that was super weird. Because hey, Sarah. Nice to have you on. Yeah. Just checking that who else has jumped on. Hey Enzo, yay, nice to have you here, honey. Okay, cool. So great. So what is a win for you? So it's really important to, when you're reaching out, when you are wanting to collaborate, when you're wanting to pitch in any way, it's always really important to, it's so much nicer talking to your faces. You guys will have access to the PowerPoint, so don't worry. It's really important to connect with what is a win for you, because especially when we're reaching up and we're trying to collaborate up, it can be really tempting to kind of just go, oh, I'll do anything and what can I do for you? But you also really want to be clear on what's a win for you, because you only have so much time, so much energy to create anything. So you really want to be clear that you know what a win for you is in any scenario. And also just a little side note, which is, I feel like literally the only thing I learned at university was in my international negotiations class in Hong Kong. And it was never, the number one rule to negotiation is never speak first. So if you learn nothing else from bootcamp, I swear to God, that one thing will like change your whole life, because it's changed my whole life. So when you're in any kind of negotiation, always smoke out the other person. So you always want to hold your cards close to your chest and have that person say what a win is for them, because you might always see that you will think something and then they'll share and you go, oh, well, I was going to go higher, or I was going to give more than I thought in that moment. Anyway, that's just a side note, but it's really got me a long way, that rule. So, but just know what a win is for you in any, this is collaboration, this is in any scenario. It's about connecting, okay, what is a win? It could be just getting some exposure. It could be getting some likes on social media. It could be that only the way it's a win for you is making money. So being really clear at where you are in your business and what is genuinely a win for you from that collaboration. Okay, cool. So some of the things that you want to think about and just be aware of when looking at collaborations, it's kind of like our ideal client. It's like red flags. So you really want to, and this is again around alignment with values, but like lack of integrity is obviously something that is a definite red flag. You also want to think about, like I sort of touched on, is too similar of an offering. So you really don't want to collaborate with people that are so similar to you, just because it becomes a bit confusing and then it's a little bit murky around, I think you can do that a little further on, but at the beginning you kind of want to just be a little bit more complementary rather than being the same. And also one-sided collaboration. So, and again, this comes back to really being clear on what a win is for you, so that you can know how to set that up for success for you. So yeah, just a couple of things to be aware of there. Okay, cool. So there's so many ways for us to collaborate. Like there is, and I think that sometimes people can, or something I hear a lot of is like people not knowing how to collaborate, at these earlier stages of business. But there's just so many ways we could do it. So it could literally be a Facebook Live together. It could be a workshop, which is obviously a bigger scale of collaboration. It could be giveaways. It could be webinars. It could be, what else have I got there? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Guest blogging, it could be content creation. So all of these things are collaborations. All of these things are either going to add to or take away from your brand as well. So every time you do anything with your brand or with your business or with other people, it's about really coming from that place of knowing this is a collaboration. So is this something that is going to help me move my brand and business forward? And is this something that's going to enhance the value for my ideal client? Is this something that is going to improve improve credibility? So it's really just about having a slightly more strategic hat on. Then everything that you're doing is either going to, it's all about building that know, like, and trust factor and adding that value and building that trust with your community. So, and also that's an empowering way because all of you guys and any of us are always ready to collaborate in some sense. So it could be off reaching out to some of those main places that you saw that your ideal client spent her time online and saying, hey, I want to guess right for you. It could be, jumping on a Facebook Live with one of the girls in this group and sharing some of the same content. So it could be a health coach and a personal trainer, and sharing content that's all very different, but all complementary and adds value to your clients. So those are all ways that we can collaborate, and it really allows us to build a strong message when we are feeling like we're in a little bit more of that abstract stage. So super, super powerful, powerful. I just am obsessed with collaboration for building, which you will probably clearly be understanding. Okay, cool. So also want to talk about, briefly touch on networking as well, because this is obviously where a lot of collaborations will start. And in business these days, what I see a lot of is a lot of people getting really, really obsessed with social media and online stuff, which is all super, super important, 100%. But being in the real world and being in like life and meeting people and making connections is also very, very important and definitely can't be overlooked. Also because it helps you feel less abstract and actually meet and connect with people who are like-minded, like you're doing in this course. But also, for me, like the events that I throw, like they are the thing that really took me from being not tangible to really creating an experience for people where they could actually be a part of the brand and the mission and the message. So really ensuring you're connecting, you are putting yourself in places where your ideal client will be, meeting people so you're front of mind when they have specific opportunities for you. And this is also all about, really building and being a part of communities, building relationships, and, really experiencing and having people experience you. Because social media is great and it's definitely something we need to utilize for our businesses, but also being a real person in the real world, it's like a part of our business, and we have to also do these other things that are super, super critical for building our business as well. So this is also about, being at places where your ideal client is going to be. And again, why it's important to do that target market and think, it's a busy week and I've got this Tuesday night event, and do I really want to go, and thinking, okay, is this somewhere that maybe my ideal client might be? Or could there be someone in that room that's going to help me move forward with what I'm trying to create at the moment? So that's why we really always want to have a slightly strategic hat on, because like I said at the beginning, there's only so much time and energy for us to build our business and still have a life and still take care of ourselves. So we really want to make sure we're showing up in the places that are going to give us the most opportunity to make it a return on investment. of our energy. And then when we're also, when we're meeting people at these networking events, you really need to make sure, say for example, you meet someone and they're a really great connection. It's like the very next day, send them an email. Hey, it was so great to meet you last night. It was really awesome to be connected. Maybe I'd love to go and take you for a smoothie and find out a little bit about this, or I'd love to stay connected in the future and talk about this, or just saying, hey, it was really great to meet you and be connected. And if you don't hear from them, it's like about following up as well, because if that opportunity was there to meet that person, and you guys know how busy your inbox gets. It's like, I get a lot of time people being concerned about being a nag, and at the end of the day, if you meet someone, you email them, they don't email back, and you email them again, like at the end of the day, all you did was send someone a couple of emails. It's not that big of a deal, but so often that person will reply and say, oh God, sorry, I'm really glad you emailed again. I know if someone does that to me, like my emails at the moment are diabolical. I'm actually really grateful when someone emails me again, because I'm like, I've been meaning to do that. So it's just about being empowered to follow up connections that you make, and also coming from that place of confidence, knowing that you have something to offer, and that these opportunities that we meet and connect with people in real life that can help us open doors are really, really powerful opportunities that we then need to essentially turn into an opportunity for us in our business. Is this landing for you guys? It's like a lot of you guys came to, the Conscious Boss Clique event, and that's where you will meet, the next person you can collaborate with, or someone who's going to open a door for you in another opportunity. So just super powerful to make sure you're making an effort to show up in the real world and be strategic about showing up in the places where, your ideal client can see you and connect with you as well. Okay, cool. So I whizzed through that, which is good because I want to open this out and ask some questions. So this week I'm going to have you guys actually make a list of 30 brands or people, and you might be like, 30, but you'll just start going and you'll just keep writing. And a lot of you would have already done some from your ideal client list, because it'll be places that she was spending time online and events she went to. So I want you to make a list of 30 brands or people or places that you want to collaborate with in some form. Like I said, it could be doing a Facebook Live with someone. It could be doing an event, which some of you have got on your goals list. It could be writing for an online publication. So just making that list. And also I want you to make sure on this list that you go, you have varying degrees. So have people that feel like lower hanging fruit that also feel like a win for you. And then also the bigger scale ones you'd be like, whoa, that would be really, really epic. And I would love to collaborate with this person or this brand, because really reach for the stars with this stuff, because it's just, everyone's just a person, and you absolutely can collaborate with all of the people that you look up to and you admire and you would just love to align with. It's just about refining the pitch and reaching out. So many people just don't reach out, and so obviously if you don't reach out, you're not going to get any results. So making that list of the 30 brands or people that you want to align with, and then I want you to reach out to a minimum of 5 of them and share with us in the group as well. Also sharing in the group so that we can, with a list of 30 or 5 people, there's very likely that a lot of us are going to have some connections to some of those people or some of those brands or some of those publications, so we can support you in facilitating connections. And I definitely will if there's anyone on that list that I can help connect you to. And this is also really about, building the confidence to connect, also getting clear on who you want to connect with. So you're even putting it out there into the universe and saying, hey, look, this is what I'm looking for, create the opportunity for me. But also it's about helping you and forcing you to actually look at yourself and your business and think strategically about what you can offer some of these people. Okay, cool. So then I also want you to make a list of 5 to 10 local events that happen in your area. It could be entrepreneurial events, could be health events, could be a yoga event, could be any kind of event. And then I want you to attend one in the next week. It could be Toastmasters, it could be anything. But it's just about forcing you to think about where your ideal client is, becoming active in your community, also allowing you to step into conversations where you're going to share with people why you are there, why you're there, what you do, and looking strategically for people you can connect and collaborate with. How is this sounding to everyone? Are you up for it? Hit me in the chat. Okay, Emma says, in regards to events, what's the protocol when collaboration? How would that look? Can you give me an example of what you've done with some of your guests? Em, can you elaborate? What do you mean? I'm going to take you off mute actually, because I want to open out to a bit of QA for everyone. Hey, Penelope.
Hi.
Okay, I'm just going to open Em out. Okay, can you, you're on, babe.
Cool. I just guess I'm wondering, like, if you wanted to collaborate, for example, I watched the one recently of the girls when you did the wellness workshop at Lulu, I think it was, with I can't remember the names, but there were 3 girls. How did you go, hey, I'm running this event, can you come along and share what you're doing? Like, what was kind of in it for them? What were their expectations in return? Like, what were you offering? Like, is it your responsibility to, because it was, let's say it wasn't at Lulu, let's say it was at like a yoga studio or something, was it your responsibility to organize, pay for everything, and then they just come along and be a guest speaker? Like, I just, more kind of the logistical side of things, so when you go into the collaboration, you kind of know, for me, like what the process is of the expectations of both parties, I guess. I'm sure it will vary, but just generally speaking.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, good question. And it does, like you said, it does definitely vary person to person, because it depends on, you know, who you're connecting with. So all those 3. So it was Sarah from Greenleaf Organics, Sarah Tanner, Buffy, Be Good Organics, and Micaiah from Micaiah Motivate Me. So they were all friends of mine. So obviously that personal connection was already there. And actually, funnily enough, this is kind of an interesting story. So I actually was supposed to collaborate with Olivia Scott and Emma Milden, and then Olivia actually, so from Raw Kitchen and Emma Milden, the author, Olivia actually ended up having to go away, and then Emma decided not to do it, and then so I actually had to like scramble to even like pull that event together. But I reached out to Mac. She was a friend of mine. I just said, hey, would you be keen? Obviously with Lululemon, it's a very powerful collaboration for a lot of people. It's a really great community to get in front of. So I knew that, you know, so that is a powerful tool. And so I knew that for them that would be a win. Also, speaking to a big crowd that size is also a win for a lot of people, especially if someone's a speaker or they're trying to be a speaker or they're getting their brand and their message out there. It's a good alignment, it's a good message, it's a good crowd, it is a good opportunity, and all they did need to do is turn up and sit down and, you know, speak for like an hour. So kind of just logically, I guess, just sort of knowing them and knowing their businesses, I did know that was a sort of an opportunity for them. And then everything else I organized. So that was in collaboration with Lululemon. So I didn't have to pay anything, but most of the organization was done by me. So, and this is a good question, because you do have to know what is a win for you, and then also what is a win for that person. So, you know, that's not going to be a win for every person. But, you know, I've never paid a speaker. None of my speakers have been paid. So it is really thinking about what is a win for this person that I'm inviting. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, you know, the wellness one that you recently did, right? So all those guys are kind of within the same space, I guess. Variation. So for them, were they like, okay, cool, this exposes my work to more people?
Yeah, that's generally what it is, because usually it's someone who has a business that they can then, you know, because again, it's something that improves and enhances their know, like, and trust factor, and getting in front of new audiences. Everyone is always looking to get in front of a new audience that they don't have to build and create. So being asked to speak, and especially speaking on stage, it's instant credibility when you're on stage and being presented to someone. It's very, very credibility enhancing. It's a new audience. So it's really, and, you know, obviously with my events now, there's a little bit more of a track record. So I have a little bit more that I can say, hey, I've done this one. But, you know, at the beginning, I didn't. At the beginning, it was just about the mission of helping women in business feel supported. And I would have speakers come and share sort of more for the mission, you know?
Yeah. And one real quick question in regards to like, on a personal level, like business coaching, and you've got other people who might be like in that wellness space that, you know, for me with all my PT, totally love, but I want to speak to people who have built their wellness business. What's the win for the person? Let's say if I, for example, I'm meeting with a girl today from Nourish Me, and she's got quite a good following and quite a good rep. So if I wanted her to come and speak on how she built her business, and the audience in the room are more wellness-based businesses looking to build, what's that going to do for her? Like, what value is that going to give her?
Good question. So I would be looking at what she has going on in her business at the moment. So for example, and Joel Brown shared this, which is a really great sort of tactic for like getting speakers or getting high profile people to sort of want to do things with you. It's like thinking about, like, he looks at whose book is currently on pre-sale, right? Because he knows that person's going to be really hungry to promote and get in front of new audiences. So what does she have going on right now in her business that she is looking to promote or launch or get support from? And then it's thinking about how can you add value to that? So what does she do? So this Nourish Me, what did you say that she does?
So she's a nutritionist. She's actually, funny you say that, because she's just launched or just about to launch an online program, and which is all around, you know, wellness and making change and stuff like that, which as we know is important when we're in business to take care of ourselves. So there's probably something there, but I just, because it's sort of, I've got a certain type of business and I want to talk about business, just making sure that she has, or whoever has the space to like expose what it is that they do, so they can get something out of that collaboration with me. That makes sense. But
Yes.
Cool.
You want to look into, and it's a great question because this is going to be applicable to everyone. You really need to make sure you're looking into that person that you are looking to collaborate with and really seeking out the win for them. So, and communicating to them that win, so that they don't have to think about, is this going to be a win for me? Because, so for example, and the email that you guys would get, like I said, is the one that I reached out to Preston and Alexi with. So you can see sort of like a little bit about how to, because a lot of the ways that I see sometimes people reaching out with these massive emails, and it's like, you know, a whole computer screen long, and it's just like, nobody wants to read that. And if they have to filter through to find out how it's a win for them or whether they need to really think about it, then they're already putting it in the too hard basket. So you really want to, what I always do is sort of loosely pitch what I want, say something about them I really respect, and then do you want to know more, like reply. You really just want to pick curiosity, make it really easy for them to see how it could look, but don't drown them in the details when you're reaching out, because it's really off-putting. And you'll sort of see that in the email that I show you guys. Because
awesome.
Like I had someone reach out to me, for example, because it's really important to know also how not to do it. Like I had someone reach out to me for my last event and say, through Instagram, and say to me, hey, I've been following your work, it's really great. Basically, she said, I've just come back from Europe, and therefore I've spent a lot of my money on shopping and I can't afford to come to your event. Would you consider doing a contra for some Be Pure vitamins? I was like, so she said, I can't justify like the spend or something like that. And I was just like, oh, babe, I appreciate you reaching out, like, and I respect it, but like how to not do it. Like, I'm just like, you know, it's just like this really bad, I see it get done wrong, like a lot of the time. So it's just making sure that, like, and I respect people reaching out and doing it, but like have it be thoughtful, and have it always lead with the value that you can create for the other person. You don't want anyone to think about it. So yeah, I would tell her that you can give her the opportunity to promote her programs. Like, hey, I'm really excited about what you're about to create. I really know that my audience would really love what you're up to. And if you like, I'd love to have you speak. You can obviously have an opportunity to share your programs with my clients. I've got a really awesome audience. Let me know if you want to know more.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds cool. Just some of that logistical stuff, I was just like, oh, how does it work?
It's good. Yeah, it's totally, it's good. I really appreciate you asking the question. So thanks, babe.
Awesome. Thanks, Em.
Of course, babe. Okay, cool. So just who else would like to come and ask some questions? It doesn't need to be about collaboration. It can be about target market. It can be about anything and all we've covered. I want to kind of open it up to any questions. So if you hit me up in the chat, and I can unmute you, because a lot of the questions that you guys have, everybody else has. So don't feel like it's like not relevant. And it also, for me, is really helpful to know like what your questions are, so that I can actually have the opportunity to answer them, rather than just sort of assuming I know what you guys want to know. Okay, cool. Nick has a collar question. So. Hi, my love.
Hi, darling heart.
How are you?
Oh, yeah, it's not actually about collars. It's about collab. I thought this might be relevant to other people as well. Given I'm so early in my concept development and I'm kind of building my audience and testing and trying, I'm not offering any products yet.
Yeah.
In terms of collaboration, like I know that I've got heaps to offer, someone that I want to collaborate with, but I don't know. I feel like potentially it will be a bit more difficult. Like I'm not even 100% clear on what I want to be doing. So in terms of getting them to align with my business values, I can get them to align with my personal values.
Yeah.
But I don't sort of have a lot to go on in terms of reaching out to people, even though I've got like 100 people I'd love to reach out to.
Okay, amazing. So amazing question, and thanks for asking it. Are your business values going to be pretty similar to your personal values?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought they would be. And so who are these 100 people that you want to collaborate with, and what would that look like for you?
I guess doing shared things, like I have actually reached out to someone that I work with who's a nutrition coach as well, like outside of her business. Because I'm really drawn to people that have stepped out of their 9 to 5, even if they're still in their 9 to 5 actually, that are doing something really lit up. That's who I'm really drawn to. But I'm really conscious of what you said about alignment.
Yeah.
And okay, this is really lame. I'm just going to put it out there. So there's a vibe around a certain aspect of wellness that is really like, it's about yoga and kind of softness and femininity. And then there's something else that I want to draw in that's a bit edgier. It's a bit sort of sexier. And I know that both of those things are really attractive to people, but I feel like I might be cutting out some of my audience if I do one or the other. It's just something that is kind of niggling at me. Yeah, sorry, I'm going round and round in circles.
No, it's good. It's amazing, because I think that and it's always, you have to follow the niggle, like that like you've got that niggle that's telling you this is what you want to do, but there's then the fear says, but I'm going to cut people out. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, that's always going to be this kind of like struggle, but the thing that's the truth is that niggle. And it's just like, and also like you said, you're not 100% sure, but this is the only way that we get 100% sure. You are all like, you and all of you, it's like, you don't know until you're really in the game and you get that clarity. Like my first workshop, so I collaborated with my friend Abby O'Rourke in 2015, and it was called the Body Project, and it was about like she was a nutritionist and I was talking about like my dysfunctional relationship with food and like spirituality. And honestly, like even when we had one of the events, we did one at Lululemon as well to like 5 people, but it was like I was like trying to think, what is my main message? And I just remember thinking, I don't even friggin' know what my message is. Is it that I want people to have a spiritual relationship? Is it about food? Like didn't even know. Like I was just sort of sharing my experience, and she was talking about nutrition, and do you know what I mean? But it's like, and then like that's so different to what I do now. But it's like the only way you really get clear is like, was that powerful for me still? Yes, because it got me in action. It forced me to be accountable to get a workshop out. I learned a lot, but it's like, it's not even anything close to what I talk about now. And so you also have a message, like you said, all those people, you could be collaborating with people that are doing amazing things. You could profile them on your website. You do interviews with them. You could, you still know what aligns with you, who you're drawn to, and that's going to be a reflection of the business you create.
Yep. That's my guide. Okay. I'm just going to just get stuck into it. You're right.
Stuck in, girl. Yeah. Does that make you feel more clear?
Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
And just think about, like, whatever's lighting you up, you're going to help light that up for other people. And so if you can spotlight people and highlight people and bring that, it's the same with, like, when I first started Conscious Boss Clique, like I had female entrepreneurs in New Zealand who would come and speak to, again, a room of like 10 people, but me being up in the room next to them, and even then I didn't have much of a business or any business, but being next to them and sharing about business with them, and then having photos and that kind of stuff helped build my brand, even though I was doing it just for the love, but it built my brand and it helped me be in action. So these little things, and then you just follow that, and then you're still adding value because that's what you're really passionate about.
Thanks, hon.
Okay, love you. Okay, cool. So Anzel has asked a question. Okay, hold on. There you are. You're unmuted, babe. Hi. Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Yeah, you're on. You're looking very glamour for this time of the morning.
It's because I wanted to start my my Instagram story thing today so I can give you a video. And so I was like, we felt like it needed to look pretty. So my question is regarding, I have no experience at all, and I get really nervous and everything about speaking, and I've never actually even spoken in front of a big crowd before, apart from like presenting work at uni and stuff, and it all went terrible. I'd always muck up and get red and stuff like that, and I think it's a problem that's becoming worse and worse because it's becoming such a bigger and bigger fear of mine.
Yeah.
And I've been looking around for like Toastmaster classes and everything, but I can't go to any. There's only one in my whole city, and I can't go to it because it clashes. It's at like 7 a.m, and I don't have a babysitter and that sort of thing. So I was wondering if you had any advice for someone who can't go to classes to get help, but what can I do on my own right now and to get speaking experience. And I'd rather have some kind of something under my belt before I kind of give a workshop, because I'm scared it's going to go terrible if I just did that with no experience. But
no, amazing question again. And so I would ask to speak in front of your friends and family. I would do your face just
no. That's even scarier.
It actually is. I don't even like speaking in front of my mum or anything. I would do Instagram stories. I would do Facebook lives. I would do, because all of those things are about like, and when I first started, like I used to get really, I remember I filmed a video with Preston when he was here, and I was filming a video and like I mucked up, got the word wrong, whatever, and I was like, he's like, that's what makes it human, like that's what people want to see, like. And so getting more comfortable, and now you guys would see sometimes if you do my info on Instagram, like I'll completely like muck up a word, and like I could very easily start that again and not post that one, but like I don't even care anymore. I'm like, it's got that word totally wrong, who cares? Like, because it makes you human, and it's like I'm more comfortable now and not caring and realizing that doesn't matter as much. So it's like the only way you kind of do that is just sort of practicing and being in that experience of kind of being in flow a little bit. I remember when I did a talk at NZME last year, I memorized for 3 weeks that speech, like word for word. And it's like, I think it's actually quite stale. It's not really, it doesn't have to be that way. It's not really relatable. So Instagram lives, Facebook lives, speaking in front of friends. I hadn't done that much speaking. It's just also just throwing yourself in. Like maybe you put together a little networking event once a month, or maybe you just throw a little one with like creative businesses down in where you are, and you're the host. It doesn't have to be like you're doing a speech, but you're still facilitating the space, you're still speaking to people, you're still kind of in that position of like power essentially. And then it's also just about being really forgiving around when you mess up, because it doesn't actually, and the more you do that, the more you realize that that's actually what people really enjoy.
Yeah. Okay. Because I think one of my biggest problems is I just don't know how to flow. Like I can't keep talking, and I can't think of like different words to say, and I repeat myself sometimes with the same words. And I feel like when I look at you and what you say, you're so interesting. You have a whole lot of different words to describe what you're trying to say, whereas I'm like, I can't think, like it's just like blank. along those lines.
Yeah, and look,
Is that just experience as well?
It's experience, and like, look, to be honest, like I've had coaches. Like I've worked with a vocal coach. I've worked with an acting coach. Like not like heavily. I've been to Toastmasters. I've now done quite a bit of speaking. I've also things like Facebook Lives and Instagrams. Like they are all practice, because you realize like I used to think I had to fill the space. So I'd say because a lot and it's like you're just filling. And so it's actually about becoming more comfortable with that space. And if any of you guys follow, I know Kristen does, like Preston Smiles, he has a lot of space in what he says. So I would suggest even following him, because it's kind of about becoming comfortable in that space of like silence. So you can actually become thoughtful about what word you choose. Like I'm a lot more comfortable now with going, I don't know what word I'm going to say yet. So what do I need to say? Go, oh yeah, it's that, rather than space here. Like you're allowed to, and that is it's just practice, and it's just also about taking the pressure off yourself too. And like you guys will all know, and it's like this one of these beautiful things that Brene Brown says, and it's like we want so badly vulnerability in others, but we're so afraid of it in ourselves. And it's like, when you see anyone on here crying, or you see someone like in some of your live streams in that emotion, I'm just getting chills. It's like, like my friggin' Facebook Live that got like nearly 4,000 views compared to the one yesterday, or whatever, that's going to got like 300. And it's like when we connect to that rawness, that vulnerability, that imperfection in others, but we're so scared of it in ourselves and of showing that. And it's actually the thing that is so powerful. And I think you just it's just becoming more comfortable in that space and taking the pressure off. But those are the things definitely you can do. So Facebook Live, Instagram Live, being in that space of being on the cuff, not having the script,
Awesome, thanks.
Share with us if you're going to do a Facebook Live or Instagram Live or something.
Okay.
Amazing. You have to now because you look really pretty, so.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Who would like, exactly. Yeah, like Kirsten said, you're flowing and speaking live right now. It's like we compartmentalize things, and we just sort of put this pressure on this thing to look this way, or like, oh, I'm like that here, but I couldn't do it here. And all of you girls have all of this stuff already. So it's just recognizing that. Amazing. Okay, cool. I'm going to take Pip off, because I think that this question will be really relevant for everybody. So, wait, I scrolled past you. Hey, honey, how are you?
Hello. Not so glamour, but that's okay.
Oh, you look beautiful. It's like 7 a.m. there, right?
Yeah, it's quite early, but that's all right.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
So my question just in the box was just, I'm sitting here going, I know, I'm thinking exposure is something that most people I want to collaborate with would probably foresee. But when I'm writing out this email or I'm approaching them, I'm trying to think of the value that I can really add to them. I know what they can give me, hands down.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So what's like, for example, what's a real life example of who you might want to reach out to and what that could look like?
Oh, maybe like a brand, like a non-toxic kind of makeup, or, all natural, beauty product or something like that would be really cool.
Okay, cool. And would that be to like do a giveaway for your clientele or for your market, or like what would you want that brand to, what would that collaboration look like? Yeah,
I mean, I'd love to write an article for them, or a giveaway. Yeah, now that you've said it, that'd be great.
Cool. So, and this is really important, and so that's why I'm really glad you brought it up. It's like we have to sort of have a clear idea about what a win, like, you said, what would be a win for you, but like, how does that tangibly look? So we really want to present to them. There's nothing sort of worse than like a fluffy pitch, like, we could sort of do something. It's like, okay, what does it look like? How is that? Because then also when you get clear around what it could look like, that helps you get connected to the value you could create. Because if you want to write an article for someone like that, everyone's always looking for content. So then it's about coming from a place of like, owning your values. So, hey, I'm a lifestyle and wellness coach, and I serve, powerful and driven women who are looking to up-level and become more conscious about their decisions, their purchasing power. I'm, really passionate about spreading this message. I think your brand is amazing, and I think my audience would love it. I would like to create some content for you if it's something you're open to. So it's like sharing, and it's just about like fake it till you make it. Like you are that, you do have that, you can totally be that. So all of that is true, but it's also about really making sure you're presenting like a strong pitch. So you've thought about, you want to make it like eliminate any work that person has to do and any thinking that they need to do. So they just go, okay, cool, powerful, strong alliance, really passionate about what they do, lines up with us, wants to create content for us. Okay, win, so you could say I could do, so really just making it clear, and that totally is a win for them. Creating content is a win. Giving giveaways are wins. Like they give products away all the time. They're constantly looking for people to, get their brand and product out to. So just digging down a little bit deeper and actually thinking, what does that look like for you? Because we can't put it on them to think about what the collaboration looks like. We have to think about what that would actually be.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Okay, amazing. Yeah, because you all of it, I'm really glad you asked, because it's definitely a question that comes up. But all of you have something to offer. Like you all have friends, families, fans, you have passion, you have a voice, you have stuff that you're, reaching out and doing. And especially these days especially if you're talking about brands in the social media influencer marketing space, like they're just looking for people to like connect with and to have authentic, influencer style marketing. So getting products and that kind of stuff is like easy. So it's just about, asking, the places are often represented by PR companies, reaching out to PR companies if you want to do like a giveaway. But yeah, being clear on what the win is for you, and having a really solid idea about what that actually could look like.
Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. Amazing. Thanks for asking the question. I appreciate it. Does anyone else want to come off mute and ask a question? It could be about this. It could be about anything else that's going on. It could be about target market, anything at all. Cool. We've got some connections happening over here. Speech marks. Actually, I think that might be, I've met that lady. Yeah. So, and also you can get, if anyone's in Auckland as well, I have a really amazing, my voice coach. She's amazing. And she's an actor as well, but just really great at, it's like getting a life coach. Like it's really confronting, She made me friggin' sing in Alicia Keys, and it was very embarrassing. But it's very interesting. I've had another one that made me lie on the ground and like quiver my leg. It's just very, very strange. But again, it's just all about getting out of your comfort zone and just trying new things. Does anyone else want to come off mute and ask any questions about anything at all? You're all doing amazing, by the way. Anyone who hasn't done any of this stretch, make sure you commit to doing a stretch. You can also do a new stretch. Like it's not just about stretch and we're done. Like what's a new stretch that you can do? Yes, you're allowed 2 questions. I'm going to get Kristen first and then I can grab you. Hi, Beauty, you're on.
Hello, how are you?
I've
got my little accountability buddy here today.
I saw your little Instagram story. I was like, oh my God, hours of
Oh my God, yeah. It was like, dude, I'm trying to sleep.
Yes.
So I have 2 really quick questions, I guess, just around the reaching out to people at the moment. I think one of the things that has stopped me from reaching out to collaborate with people in the past has been that I don't have like a website or I don't have my business together yet. So would my focus more be on like social media collaboration at this point?
Yeah. Well, so again, like, is there a real life example of someone maybe you thought you'd wanted to reach out to and you haven't, like anything like that?
Well, one person I know I probably could collaborate with would be Amanda Rootsy, because I have a fairly good relationship with her, and obviously she's in the mentoring environment for young girls. So we've been meaning to catch up. But yeah, I guess at this point, my connection with her would be through social media. Would that be like, maybe doing a live or something in that nature that's still providing value for both audiences, but it's something that I have a good relationship with already? Would that sort of be a good starting point?
Totally. Yeah, that would be amazing. And that's an amazing way you can sort of deliver your message, and she's got a great platform and you could do a collaboration. It helps her. And that's, it's a really great question, because again, it's like, it can look, we're always ready, like there's never any limit for why we can't do it right now. So that's an amazing way. You could do an Instagram live with her. I mean, I'm not sure where she's based. I know she's in Australia, because you've got a great platform, she does. So it's really, you could definitely do, that would be a really amazing way.
And then that would be obviously a good way of sort of building up well, this is what I've done in the past for people that maybe don't know what I'm doing yet, sort of thing, or that I don't have a
Totally. And you can also, you can then pull that video down from Facebook and then you can put it on YouTube, or you could put a snippet onto your Instagram. You could have it live when it goes on your website. So it's about like that's putting you in practice about creating content, getting clear around messages. And it's also just kind of like being in practice of that conversation and seeing what comes out, seeing which parts of that conversation you really enjoy talking about and what really lights you up, because that's all about cultivating your own message as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other quick question I had was just around resistance, because I think that's coming up for a lot of us as well. How do you move past resistance, or like what does that look like for you?
So when you say that, like how's that showing up for you at the moment?
Oh, well, like for example, like doing that exercise, or like last week when I just could not get an Instagram video out for days, like, and then finally just pushed myself to do it. Like when I find like, as I think as you're stretching outside your comfort zone, like the more sort of resistance shows up to try and keep you safe. So yeah, what do you do when it comes up for you?
I think this is truly like why I feel so passionate about Bootcamp, is because this place where you guys are all at now in this like earlier stage is like the place where resistance is at its strongest, because it's so much more of a jump from sort of here to getting things out there. Whereas when you are more in the flow of stuff, and obviously it's always about growing, but when you're more in that place of like having momentum and having things that you've done, you're just kind of more accountable already, because it's out there and you've got more, essentially I guess it's like you've got more to lose by just stopping. So you're more driven to create. But it's also about being really forgiving. Like I've got a lot of resistance coming up for me at the moment because I'm moving around a lot. I'm tired. Like, I'm in New York City right now. It's like a beautiful day out there, and it's like I just had a moment where I thought it was Sunday, then I realized it was Monday. And so there's a lot of like I'm like trying to figure out a lot of stuff. So it's just about being really forgiving and knowing that there's certain times and places where it will rear its head, and certain times where you do need to push past it. I think it's about sort of tuning in and saying, is this resistance something, like you said, that's trying to keep me small, or is this resistance actually me needing to take an afternoon off, or am I actually needing to go and take a walk outside, or do I need to call someone, or do I need to push through? Like it's not always about just pushing through. It's about, I think, more tuning in and saying, okay, what is this? And then finding out whether is it resistance because of that, or is it is it something else that I need to know from what I'm feeling? Yeah, does that make sense?
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it's just knowing that I think like the resistance that you're feeling right now is like because it's such a big space of change and there's so much uncertainty. Like there's and there's always going to be a lot of uncertainty, but right now there's so much, and this is a lot of where like the hardest work is. So I think also use that to know that like I sort of said, like now is the hardest part. It truly is, and like when we can push through this and just get into that action, everything actually becomes easier.
Yeah.
So be gentle, but tune in to like what it is and where you need to push.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
And connecting to your why too. I think like connecting to the why, like, I know you want this so bad, and like all of you do. And then just, but tuning in and being kind as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
And accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe your accountability buddies, and just being like, this is what I want, and everything else that comes in between here and there is a bullshit reason. So don't let me sell out on myself,
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Love you, babe. Okay, cool. Anyone else want to jump on? Just want to make sure, you guys all feel like you have your stuff answered. If there's anything going on for you. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, sorry, Ansel's got a question. Okay, where are you? So in the membership site, you will have the email that I sent as well, just to kind of give you a guideline for the collaboration reach out. Okay, cool, honey, you're on. Oh, hold on.
Target audience. Yeah. About target audience is so I've just got up at like 6 this morning to work on all of it, and I've realized that I could really narrow it down quite a lot by either working with creatives. So I'm designing the course for creative freelancers to start their business, or I could do especially what with my experiences being a single mum on the benefit in starting a business, a creative business through that? Like, would it be better to do a real target niche, or real narrow down onto that target niche, or it's better to go broader and do it for like a creatives who are also professionals and working in industry right now?
My question around that is, so it's either the creatives wanting to launch their own business or the single sort of mums that are like,
who are creatives as well, but they're either working full time, I guess, or they're struggling to start a business, or they're stay home mums or something like that.
I would say, yeah. So that Emma's taken. So that willing and able to pay, and I think that the single mum being on the benefit is an amazing part of your story. But I would be wary about creating a niche around that space, because it's not the most abundant space to service. And this also comes into this place of like, you can have that inbuilt passion and commitment to that space because that's part of your story. And you can choose to support them through sponsoring some people in your programs or giving to those people through your story. And that's a way more empowering way for you to still service them. But in terms of building the business around that space, I would be reluctant, because I think you'll be in a lot of struggle. But you can still support and empower that space, but not as niche.
I really like that idea that I could maybe sponsor one of them or give them a free spot or something.
Totally.
Oh, cool. No, that clears it all up.
Yeah, cool, amazing. See, but then that's beautiful as well, and that's also about being about something more than just your business, because that's what you and your story that really like lights you up, and that's also a great thing in terms of like media and stories and being clear about what your sort of story is, because that's kind of how to get PR and things like that. So scholarships. So amazing. But I would keep it still at the creatives, because I think that's a really awesome space for you.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you.
Amazing. Of course. Thanks for asking the question. Okay, cool. Anyone else want to jump on? Also, just to recap, so it's reaching out, making that list of 30 people or brands to collaborate with, reaching out to, I think it was 5, I'll put it in the page, and then making a list of like 10 events that happen around you and attending at least one, for networking wise. Okay, cool. Oh, Sarah has a question. Okay, cool. Hi, honey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. I got your email when I was running around in Brooklyn.
Oh, I was like, oh my God, I need to talk to her. I just had a random question, and I shouldn't, this is my job. I should definitely target markets are my thing. So, but I think with mine, what I'm struggling with is that at the moment I actually focus it towards corporate. So it's kind of like that, mindfulness and well-being for corporates. So I work with like leadership groups and stuff like that in corporate organizations, and I really love it. Like, I love the fact that it's got a focus on female and males. I love seeing these guys who are kind of like in their mid-50s suddenly, change, and it changes their world. So I don't want to stop that, but I do see that the way I guess I've planned out my business is that it will kind of transition probably more towards the female long term. Mm-hmm. So I guess, is it okay to have, in the target market piece, have 2 phases of target markets? I guess plan out an evolution in some way.
I love it. You definitely work in marketing.
I know. When you're talking about collaborations, I'm like, that's what I do all day, every day.
Amazing. To be my guest coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Look, I mean, it's if that's a space, if you see that is going to be feel good for you and feel aligned for you and feel clear. And this is the thing, it's like there's no right or wrong. Like, if that feels aligned for you and that feels like a way that you can still feel good about what you're putting out there and still serve who you want to serve, and also still feel like you can communicate in that space effectively, then that's totally fine, And
because I guess I come from that school of thought that it's kind of like, try and not be everything to everyone, but try and actually focus your attention on one market. And I completely agree with that from a marketing perspective. But I guess also I see with this, that's where I was getting a bit stuck, because I was like, hang on, I don't want to exclude this amazing group of people who I currently deal with, but I also understand that that who I will want to target will be the people who like me were in corporate and were kind of burning themselves out and lost didn't have purpose and all the rest of it, and helping those people get out. And what I'm finding is that there's guys as part of that, but there's also, there's definitely a skew towards the female market.
Yeah.
So I guess I can just see it changing long term, is already.
Yeah, look, and I can totally relate to this because I'm super passionate about sort of this movement in the male space as well. And I went through a breakup last year, and I got really passionate about, all my podcasts were with guys, and like I was really passionate about talking about like masculinity and like all of these things, like, you know, women still really care about as well, but like I was very heavily into that, and I got very confused around like, oh, do I want to work with guys? And like, oh, do I have to change all my copy on my website because I'm saying babe and I'm talking to women? Do I need to like widen it out? And I did change it for a bit, and I sort of put, you know, people, and I put like, you know, wellness entrepreneurs, and like I tried that on for a bit, and then I realized ultimately like that was quite confusing for me when I was trying to market. I didn't really know how to speak to that audience, and I also realized that I didn't really want to work with men. So like I didn't actually want to, like, I love having guys at my events, and I'm a huge advocate for that, and I really encourage that, and I love having the guys there. Do I want to work one-on-one with a guy? I actually don't, because I really don't know how to work in that space with a guy. And they're just so very different. So I love having them at the events, but in terms of all of my communication, it made it very confusing for me. So I would just think about that for you, about what's going to feel easy and good for you. And also, again, it's kind of knowing you're going to have that fray. Like I love having the guys at my events, and I sort of promote that space. So maybe it's like most of your marketing is to that female niche, but when you do a workshop, maybe you do one specifically for guys, or you do more project-based stuff that's very specific to serving the men, but most of the other stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And I think I think the corporate world's quite a masculine world. So in some way, I'm just aware that my brand is quite a feminine. It is feminine in terms of kind of what it offers and how it approaches things. But I just want to make sure that it doesn't exclude that group as well, because it is still part of, But yeah, awesome. Thank you. That helps.
Does it actually help, or do you still feel like
No, it does. It does. I think, I just need to go through and kind of map it out in a bit more detail. I didn't manage to get to last week's exercise, so I've got to go through and kind of do that in more detail.
Okay.
So,
cool. And feel free to send it to me if you want me to look over it.
Thanks, Em.
Yeah.
Cool.
Amazing. Because also, like, the guys, like, God, they need this work.
Oh, they do. And some of these, I'm talking about guys in their 60s, and they're kind of almost in tears, you know, and it's just because I've given them peace for a couple of hours. So it's kind of, you know, I'm like, I that brings me so much joy. And I think there's a lot of this market is focused just towards the feminine and the kind of female market, and which is great, because it's kind of, you know, where a lot of the change is coming from. But I'm just conscious that I want to make sure I don't exclude.
Totally. Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, because like, I remember doing a workshop at Vodafone about mindful leadership, and it was like all middle-aged men, and it's like, it's a very different space to communicate a message to, but they're so far behind. So
but so want to be caught up. That's what I'm
so maybe dig in, and then if you want to send it to me, I'll have a look at that.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Amazing. Thanks, babe. Okay, cool. Anyone else want to ask any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for everyone staying on. Okay, cool. No more questions? All right. Well, you girls are amazing. Seriously, your target market, like those clients, I'm obsessed with the fact that they have names. Like, so amazing. I literally am reading them. I'm like, I feel like I know exactly who this person is. So powerful. So amazing work, all of you girls that have done that. Really, really lean into the overwhelm, lean into the uncertainty, reach out to me if you need me. I really want to make sure you get what you need out of this group, of this course. You know, all of you guys are taking amazing, massive action. So be super proud of yourself, everything that you are doing. And just I'm super proud of you. Be proud of yourselves. Reach out to me if you need me. I'm going to start another question thread so that you can keep just more freshness on that. Also, I want you just to think about what what you guys have going on at the moment, what you'd like me to cover on next week's call. Like I said, I do leave a couple empty so that I can really cater them to what you guys have going on. So there was a question around, I'm trying to make sure you're not like seeing my messy room in the background. Yeah, there was questions around like pricing. There was questions about like events. So just, I'll start the thread, but just put your ideas about what you would like to know about. Mindset's been one often, and just then I can see what everyone wants to go through, and I can create a call for that. So that would be really helpful. And like I said, anything you need, let me know. I look forward to seeing who you want to collaborate with and sharing so that we can connect. If we have people we all know, we can help each other out. But you're all awesome and amazing. And I'm going to unmute you so you can say goodbye if you want to say goodbye. And huge love, and this will be up on the call in the membership site with the script as well. So lots of love, honeys.
Lots of love. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.